Trent and Karissa Zimmer. Now it's your turn, guys.
Come on
Now
in.
it's your turn.
Hey, sorry for the early arrival. I was just so excited to see Rob and Leslie.
Thank you, of course. What does this
Hi.
mute button do? What does this mute button do? Karissa, I thought you were going to be on
That was a
separate
true
computers.
boomer moment.
I thought you were going to be on separate computers, Karissa, so I could mute Trent.
I should have done that.
That would have been
Unbelievable.
in your best interest.
So
Hey,
let's take-
Unlocked Box is really cool, by the way. I just downloaded it, so I'm going to check that out.
It's very cool. Don't try to add me. I'm not going to show houses for you. I'm very expensive. So, all right, let's jump into it, guys. We have some amazing husband and wife team here. Trent and Karissa Zimmer. Zold Real Estate. Get it? Because their last name starts with a Z. So they took the S away of sold and put a Z on it. And so it's very clever. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you. They are 100% in command. 100% in command. I don't want to start this one off. I'll let Leslie start this one off.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
Not that I don't want to. I just feel like I'm.
Yeah,
Leslie,
take a
you
break, get some water. Hi, Trent and Karissa. I'm so excited to have you guys here. So let's start from the beginning. When Command was released, you jumped in, and what was that experience like?
It wasn't amazing. I have kind of I have a really interesting, my story or my intro to Command is different than most. I came from another company at about the exact time Command was released. And so actually it was a little bit before that. So I put my name on the list for everything in labs, hoping I'd get early access to all these amazing things. And when it came out, Nick and I always laughed because it basically did nothing more than you could put a contact in it.
Right.
But that was maybe a level above what I was currently doing at the time.
Well, I yes, be as candid as possible.
So it was a step up. But I think that my early adaption is what has made this so easy for us, because every time a new feature comes out, I'm easily able to just pick it up. And it's to the point now where things are happening so fast and changing, it is hard to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
There's now things that I have to go in and actively try and figure out because it's changing so quickly.
I jumped in at the same time as you, Trent, and it was like, I remember loading in my contacts and then being erased the next day. Like, what happened here? And then they pop back in later that afternoon. So let's fast forward. You guys sell $32+ million a year and you run your platform on Command. Let's get into the details. Start with lead generation. What part of Command are you guys utilizing for lead generation, and how do you implement that specifically into the business with the team?
Well, we are very, very heavily sphere-based. We have an avatar that we created. That's our ideal client. And that was Karissa's idea, is to come up with that avatar. And we actively pursue that client in our database. So we use campaigns and we use other things to bring in some of the haven't mets and try and nurture them to become Mets, but we really hit hard on the Mets. And so actually this would be a good question for Karissa to answer, because she spends a ton of time using tags in campaigns and mailing lists and things like that. So if you want to...
So we basically created an avatar for who's Zold's ideal client. Who are we speaking to? And then within that profile, we came up with tags that would fit that avatar. So what tags would fit this avatar? And then every time we add a contact in Command, or existing contacts that we had in Command, we would add those specific tags, as many as we possibly could. Our ideal client is a young family, specifically a move-up buyer, and they have young children, they're young moms. And so those are specific tags that we utilize. And why I'm talking about that a lot, and I talk about this with Nick a ton, is because Command allows you to export lists according to tags. So we use Command emails all the time, and I will pull certain tags if I want to communicate something with our sphere, whether it's a family event that's happening downtown Lakeville where we live, or if there's something happening for moms in the community, or if we want to host an event at our house and it's a group of people that we want to bring in, if we want to bring on a small business and maybe help them and give a something away in our newsletter, things like that. So we utilize campaigns. I guess it's under campaigns, command emails heavily in regards to
when it
tags.
comes to tags. I think we have to, as agents, think outside of the transit. Don't tag buyer, seller, investor, 6 months, 12 months. Like, we have tags for kids, specific sports teams. So like if I know somebody's a diehard Viking fan, I'll tag them Vikings. And if I ever get a ticket to a Vikings game that I can't go to, I go into my database and I search Vikings tags and I know who I'm giving that ticket to. If I know someone who's a crazy cat lady, and anytime there's cat events, like there's a St. Paul Saints, our minor league baseball team has like cat night, where after the game on the big screen, every cat fan goes down into the field and watches cat videos on the Jumbotron.
Do you have Ann Baldwin in your database? Because she
I will
should
add
have
that tag for her profile.
Yeah, my wife needs crazy cat lady tag in her database.
And then we can go get a Juicy Lucy before.
So using all sorts of, and all those other tags came to me from my time in hospitality, which was like, we knew what newspaper you like to read. Imagine if you knew those details about your clients, and when you showed up for them, you already knew what they preferred. Mm-hmm. You might think it's this minuscule detail that doesn't matter at the time, but trust me, if you see them a year later and you know that their kid is Billy and he plays hockey and he won the tournament last year, they're going to be blown away by the fact that you remember that. And that all happens via tags for the most part for us.
And so I wanted to add
real quick, somebody was asking.
After you, Nick, go ahead.
Somebody was asking in the chat what a tag is, and I'm just gonna
there you go.
find it real quick. A tag is
take that one, Nick?
Yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. A tag is essentially a label for your contacts. That way, like if you're trying to look for someone who is looking in a town called Anytown USA, if you have a tag Anytown USA, you'll bring up all those people. If someone in your database loves cats, if you tag all of those people cat lovers, look up by that tag, search by that tag cat lovers, all those people will come up. That's what a tag is.
And yes. Rob, something else we just implemented, and I told Leslie about this, is we appointed city ambassadors. So we took all the cities that we sell in around our area, and we pulled 1 or 2 people, depending on how big the town was, from our sphere and asked them to be a city ambassador. And what a city ambassador is someone that's like our sneezer, someone that's going out, that's telling anyone they know about Zold, but also someone that's heavily involved in their community, that knows what's going on, that can tell young moms where the best parks are in their specific town. And so we look at them to be a person that we can go to if we have a buyer that's looking in their city. And so that helps with lead gen. We love on them, they love on us, and we connect them with good people that are moving into their town. So that's been a huge win for us. And we pull those lists by tags. So if I want to pull all my city ambassadors, they're labeled with city ambassador, and then they're also labeled with their city that they're the ambassador for. And we can pull that list and love on them, or provide them with information, or connect them with someone in our database.
Did you say sneezer?
Cool. Sneezer. Yeah, we want to create as many sneezers as possible.
I think we got that one from our coach.
We got that one from our maps coach.
What does that mean?
The sneezer is, well, like think about when you sneeze and it gets all over your table and no one wants to eat from it.
Or if you, so if you go to a good restaurant and you have a really good experience, you likely are telling everyone about that restaurant that lives in that area. So
it's like a sneeze, in that the sneeze particles go everywhere. So someone who is a fan of yours will tell everyone.
You want to love on your sneezers so they sneeze on everyone else.
Yes.
Love that.
Got it. So I want to just point out here, Trent and Karissa, and to everybody that's listening in right now, if you guys haven't noticed, they are really, really good at their operations side. They have tagged and segmented their database so they can proactively communicate with their database. This is huge in command. So if all of you guys are taking notes right now, this is it. The simple steps of tagging and segmenting can really grow your pipeline. And Trent and Karissa, you guys are the success story to this. So Karissa, tell us a little bit about just your role in the operations side, and we're going to walk into the
Well, I just have
discussion
a
of
quick question.
opportunities and checklists.
Wait, I want
Yeah.
to go back. I want to go back for a second. Sorry, because
Yes.
somebody in the chat.
Oh, somebody
came up
asked a
with
question.
a good question
Mhm.
that I want to. Sorry, I don't know who it was, but it was a good question. So your city ambassadors,
Mhm.
do you do anything special for them? That was the question. Did you do anything special for them? And did they know that they're a city ambassador?
Yeah. So I sent them to invite them to be a city ambassador for us. It was a mailer, a little card from us with a note in what our intention was for this program and how we looked at them as someone that was heavily involved in their community, someone that knew the ins and outs of all the neat restaurants, businesses that were coming to town, etc. And then within that, we provided a little gift. I think it was a Starbucks gift card was the first gift that we gave them. And if they wanted to accept this role, there was a QR code at the very bottom, and they would scan the QR code, and then there was a form that they filled out, and it was their name, email, phone number, all the basics. And then I asked a series of questions. What's your favorite restaurant in town? What's your favorite park? What do you like to do with your family? Anything we know that we should know that's coming in your city. If we were to do an Instagram reel featuring Edina, Minnesota, what would you recommend that we would include in that reel? Things like that. And so what was super cool is I sent the mailer out, and then within 48 hours, answers started coming in on our Google form. I'm like, oh, it's working. It's so exciting. And people loved it. We got texts, we got phone calls. They were like, thank you so much for thinking of me. I am honored. That's amazing. So it was really, really, really cool. We just started this summer, and the intent is that we will also host quarterly events for these people, whether it's virtual, maybe it's something in person, or we segment them out into smaller groups and we bring them out to dinner, or we meet their families at a park and we have an ice cream truck that shows up, something of that nature. So we're going to love on them throughout the year, and we're going to be very intentional about it. And I'm also looking for them to provide us information on their city. Because there's things that we can't talk about with our clients. We can't talk about necessarily the schools, and you should really move here because this is a really good elementary school. And they can talk about certain subjects in regards to things like schools. So yeah, it's been really cool. I'm excited about it.
I got severely screamed at through the chat for interrupting Leslie. I wasn't trying to interrupt Leslie. There was a moment there, and I felt there was a question that was relevant to what Karissa had just said. So I wanted to expand on that. Leslie, you're doing an amazing job.
Thanks, you guys. It's all good.
Please,
It's all good. I love my biggest fans. Love you, Liz. Love everybody out there. Love you, Monica. So
please ask the question that you were just about to ask before I so rudely interrupted you.
Yeah, no, let's go back. Let's go back. So, okay, they're experts, you guys, at managing their database. This is where the money's at, right? So if you're going to take anything out of this, do the simple homework of tagging and segmenting. So Karissa, I would love, because this is my biggest passion about Command, if you could talk a little bit about opportunities and your amazing checklists.
Yeah. Oh, I was so excited to implement this. And why I was so excited is because I found myself in the infancy stages of taking on operations within our team, was that I was sending so many emails that essentially said the same thing to clients. And although I love to talk to our clients and love to personalize emails and send them out, it got to be a lot. And so when Command came out with checklists in opportunities, so for those of you that are unfamiliar, when you take an opportunity and you put it into the different phases, there is I think it's in the upper right, Leslie? So if you click on the opportunity, isn't it in the upper right?
Yes.
There's a checklist button, and you can customize that checklist. KWRI has already provided us with a generic checklist. I would encourage you to go in, spend some time, and customize it for yourself. We decided to reserve our Market Centers conference room one day, and we had flip charts and all the things, and took a deep dive into our process and listed everything we do. Even silly things, you guys, like sign has been ordered, sign has been installed, reached out to the loan officer, no update, all is well, reached out to the title company, everything's moving along perfectly, things of that nature. We added everything. I mean, I think there's one phase where we have 32 checklist items. Now that may be excessive, and your operations people are like, oh goodness, but I can click 7 things at one time most of the time. And so we customize our checklist. I utilize that in every opportunity that we have. And the beauty of this is every time I check a box, you can control when that client gets an update. So we choose to have our client receive daily emails at 9:30 a.m. And they receive an email from us, and it's whatever is in Trent's marketing profile. I always have the emails come from the agent. I want to empower them, make sure that they're at the front of the transaction. So our client will receive an email from Trent, and it says, hey, we're checking things off the list. Here are the tasks that we've completed. And it shows everything that we have done the previous day. I also was telling Trent this morning, so many things in our world have become automatic, and there's a lot of robots speaking to us in our email. And so a way to separate ourselves and make sure the client feels like this process is catered to them and we're customizing it to them. In your opportunity in the different phases, you can actually go ahead and add an item. So let's say I have my Zold checklist template, and I'm working with Leslie and Nick to buy a house. And I texted Leslie, letting her know that the stager would be here to drop off the vase on Thursday. Maybe I'm adding that in the checklist. Texted Leslie this, a reminder, the stager will be there to drop off the vase on Thursday. And so that's included in that automatic email. Now, if I'm on the client end of things and I'm receiving this email, I'm looking at that being like, oh my goodness, they're actually catering this process to me. It's not something that we're just, oh, I got this email, but then you start to doubt it. Did that really happen? You know, we're a product of our environment, right? And I know I receive things from loan officers and just random shopping things. And it's like, your order's been shipped. I'm like, well, has it really? Or is this just an email that's received? Because it's been 5 days since I ordered it. So anyways, that's how we heavily use checklists. And I really, really encourage you, if you're the rainmaker, lean on your operations. This is their bread and butter. They love this type of thing. And spend a day and just go through your process, write every little thing down that you do and include that with the fitting phase.
The key, I think, there is into the minutia. Like what we think is not a big deal, they think is a big deal. So blasting it out to my market center to 210 agents. Like some people wouldn't put that on their list, but to a seller, they would see that and go, oh my gosh, my house has already been exposed to 200 agents. That's incredible. And so really think deep into every single step along the way and put it in there, because we talk about it all the time. When we go out and we meet somebody who just transacted that we didn't know prior, and we say, very cool, congratulations. How was your experience? And if they say it was negative, you guys know why. It was communication.
Yeah. Right.
They felt like they didn't know what was going on. And this checklist thing, which by the way, half of what she just told you, I didn't even know happens.
That's like, how it's supposed to work.
I'm sitting here going, wow, that's really cool.
And you know what's really cool about it, you guys, is on the checklist. I'm so passionate about it. Can you tell?
I know. I know. I love it.
You can add your audience. Yeah. So let's say Nick referred us a client to and that wanted to purchase a home in Minneapolis. I could add Nick as someone to keep updated on the transaction. How cool is that?
That's
Instead of reaching out to him. And by the way, if he's with another company, you've literally just set the stage for Keller Williams because they've experienced the process. So
amazing.
So what I love about what you guys are doing is that, you know, you're sending these checklist emails, the client emails out first thing in the morning, and you're essentially answering questions of your clients before they even have a chance to ask those questions. And that's what's so great about the client checklist, you know, for them to know what you're doing to get their home sold every single morning, right? Like send an email to every agent in our office, ran a Facebook ad, door knocked the neighborhood, sent just sold, just listed postcards. Like these are things that they're going to spend time calling or texting you about. And you can just answer those questions before they even come up, which I think is great. So when we wrap up, I want to discuss you have, oh man, there's so many things to ask you.
I know.
Let's talk about post-close. Let's talk about post-close. There's so many things that if you guys want to learn more about the Zimmers, go to Spotify and look up our podcast, Command Your Business, and listen to the podcast with them. It's about 45 minutes and they dig a lot deeper into it. We only have 25 minutes here. So go check out Command Your Business on Spotify and listen to their episode. Shameless plug, and I'm not ashamed. Okay, so I just want to say you guys have a great post close where like you not only have these smart plans and automation going on throughout the transaction, but you have them after the transaction. Talk a little bit about how those look.
Yeah, so we have two separate post closed tags, one obviously for buyers and one for sellers. The one for sellers is pretty quick and simple. I think it's like 3 or 4 steps. You guys can actually access those. I published them to the library. So if you just go either search my name or search Zold, you'll find the team post Zold, which is the seller smart plan. And then you'll find the buyer post Zold, which is obviously the buyer one. And the buyer one is I like more because it just gives me an opportunity to ask for, how was your first week in the home? Do you need a contractor? By the way, can you leave me a review? Here's the links. It takes a lot of the pressure off and automates me having to reach out and ask for it, right? So one less click, one less call, one less text message. And the thing that I really like about it actually is that we use Twilio to send these, and it introduces them to our Twilio line, which we use heavily for what we call our Zold Inner Circle. So once you transact with us or you refer us business, you become part of the Zold Inner Circle. And a lot of our communication is via text message. Now, people are going to get a text from that number and think it's garbage. However, if they got texted from that number on closing day as an introduction saying, congratulations and thank you so much for working with us, we really appreciate it. This is the line that we use to communicate opportunity, whether that's investment opportunities, it's client events, it's giveaways. We give away tickets to sporting events. So don't unsubscribe, keep this number saved, and know that if we ever text you from here, it's because we want to, we want to communicate with you. And so it sets the stage for us to continue to communicate with them through that line of communication. And that's one thing that I love about it. The buyer post close system is about, I think it's either 7 or 9 steps, and it's fairly repetitive from like week 1. Then it does the same thing on like day 14 or 17 or something. And then it does the same thing at the end of the month. And it's basically a 30-day long touch plan. And it's worked really well. Mm-hmm. People enjoy it. It's simple. If you guys want to go in there and download it and tweak it to fit your brand, go for it. But are there any other questions, Nick, you have specific to those plans that I can answer? Because they're really pretty simple. And if you go in and look at it,
a lot of people are just asking where they're going to find them in the Smart Plan library. So explain where to find them in the library.
Yeah. So if you just go into Smart Plans, so hit the little icon on the left of Command, go in and search. I think if you search my name, they'll pop up.
Yeah.
I might have created the one under our team though. So, but they both have the word Zold in it. So if you search the word Zold, that's ZOLD, you should see a handful of different plans come up. One is our Facebook ad lead plan, which a lot of that's from you, Nick. And then you'll see team post Zold, which is for the seller, and buyer post close, which is for the buyer. So it's really nice.
I just pulled them up. Search Zimmer, Zimmer, and a lot of them show up there, guys.
Okay,
perfect.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, sensational.
So what's really great is Karissa, once it gets the file closes, she tags it with either
my checklist tells me to. It says tag. Client, post, Zold. So I go in, and if there's a couple or maybe there's 5 people involved in the transaction, tag all of them so they all get the smart plan.
Yep. So then one is post Zold, and I think the other one is post, whether it's buyer or seller, and then that begins the smart plan.
Yeah. Cool.
You guys are awesome. Always fun talking to Karissa.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much.
Trent, it's nice talking to you too. I'm just teasing.
Oh yeah, Trent.
You guys are awesome. Give them some thumbs up and
Thanks.
likes and hearts and claps
Send
in
them
the emojis.
Thanks for having
Guys,
us.
Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Trent.
Bye,
Thanks,
thanks,
Krista.
guys.
Bye.